Ladies and gentlemen, Han2 is already dominating the Legends of the Force meta, taking home the win in the Take the Initiative Season 16 tournament, as well as two other smaller tournaments utilizing the Set 5 Legend of the Force cards and mechanics. He's one of the most played and most feared decks heading into Worlds 2025, and for a really good reason. But if you want to win games on the biggest stage, you need to do a lot more than just respect him. You need to know how to beat this guy. So I'm James from Make an Opening. Today I'm going to give you the keys to crack Han2. We're breaking down exactly why he's so powerful, the best tech strategies and mindsets that you can deploy in your games to take him down, whether it be game 1, game 2, game 3. These are the keys, man. I'm giving you the keys. Drive the boat, but do it respectfully. Also, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. The new community Discord server is already live. It's popping. We're having a good time in there. A lot of fun communications, a lot of chit chat. A guy opened a box in there already. He pulled a showcase. It's awesome. So link downstairs in the description if you want to join that. Also, join us in the conversation on how to beat Han2, preparing for Worlds. We're talking deck lists, deck tech, strategies, all that sort of stuff. So join in. Let's head into the video. Han2 isn't just another mid-range deck, everybody. He is arguably one of the most efficient ones that we have ever seen in the history of Star Wars Unlimited. He leverages the brand new Force mid-range package perfectly. Cards like Grogu, Itinerant Warrior, Ki-Adi-Mundi, all these cards give him early board presence, and they all come packed full of really good upside as well. He plays ahead of curve as well. You'll see 3 3s, 1 4s, even 5 3s on turn 1. Kind of scary, but there are ways to deal with it, of course, but still, it's kind of scary. He sacrifices health for tempo, and it works very, very well. One key thing to know about the deck runs little to no events, but with the package as simple as Force Throw and Shatterpoint, do you really need much else? Do you really need much else? Another key thing to note is that they also don't run a whole lot of 1 or 2 drop units because they're cheating everything out and they're playing 3 drop units on turn 1, 4 drop turn 2, etc. If you're not prepared to deal with this type of tempo, you're probably even dead before you resource your first 2 cards of the game. I'm gonna be honest. But we are here to change that. Let's flip the script. You can beat Han2, and here's how. My 3 tips to beat Han. 1. Tip number 1 is going to be play keep away with the Force token. Han2 needs the Force token to slam key units like Ki-Adi-Mundi, Mace Windu, and even the event Shatterpoint to turn on the second mode of that. If you can consistently deny them the Force token, you shut down very big and very relevant parts of what make this deck tick. So how do you play goalie for the Force token? It's very simple. All they have to do is get an attack off with a Force unit running the Force base. They get the Force token. Tip number 2. Remove Force units before they can extract any sort of value. Han2 relies on leaving Force units like a beefy turn 1, 1/4 stat line Grogu on the board to cash in not only with Force Throw, but also, swinging with that unit and collecting the Force token. If you're able to defeat those units before they stick, Force Throw becomes a dead card in hand and Mace Windu looks like a damn idiot. Utilizing units with ambush, cheap removal events, even the Tarkin Town base to great success can make these matchups feel like an uphill battle for the Han2 pilot and not for yourself. One of the most important parts of this tip is that turn 1 play. What do they play and how do you beat it? The absolute biggest thing that they can play in terms of HP is Grogu. He'll hit the board as a 1/4 on turn 1. It's kind of crazy. Then it heals itself. It pings your stuff. It's a strong card, but we can deal with this. In Quinlan and Cad Bane decks, you can utilize Ambushers plus Tarkin Town to take out the Grogu, deny them any units on turn 1, which is always good. With these decks, if you don't have the luxury of going second and you're on the play and you start the game with the initiative, play a unit with at least 2 damage or 2 power. You head into turn 2 and you can smuggle out a Hotshot Blaster onto that unit to take care of the threat in front of you. Plenty of other options as well. You have Surprise Strike, Waylay as well to deal with their turn 1 play, but plenty of ways, effective ways in Quinlan and Cad Bane to take out their turn 1 play. In the mid-range villainy shells like Qira and Kylo Ren, You have cards like Power of the Dark Side, Merciless Contest, and if you're running ECL, as long as you have the initiative heading into turn 2, you just ECL out a unit into their turn 1 play, and you use your ECL, but you're keeping them away from the force token, which is definitely going to be worth it. Trust me. The more low to the ground aggro decks like Sabine and Vader 4 are going to have a little bit of a harder time dealing with the turn 1 play. Han is also just naturally stronger into aggressive style decks. So prayers up, guys. I'm rooting for you. But where you guys have the advantage is tip number 3, race to 28 damage. Mid-range versus mid-range, mid-range versus control, aggro versus mid-range, cookie cutter card game stuff. Tempo is always going to be everything, especially in like mid-range matchups. So if you gain the first lead in damage and you keep the board presence stable, you often just win the race outright. More aggressive tilted decks like Sabine and Vader, you're going to have the advantage raising them to 28 HP. Every single Han2 deck you are going to be seeing at Worlds and in the set 5 metagame is going to be limited to the 28 HP base if utilizing the Force, no matter if they are blue, green, yellow, red. And if they decide to utilize the rare bases for the Force to have an alternate means of getting the Force, they're going to have even less HP. So that's good for you. We have yet to see decks like Han2 Data Vault with Directed by the Force. I don't think we are going to see it because that's just strictly worse. Directed by the Force is doing what Han2 doesn't want to do, and you're paying more for units instead of paying less for the units. 28 is just going to be the magic number. Keep in mind 28. 25 is better, but I don't think we're going to see Han Force decks playing with anything more than 28 HP. Sentinels like Qira and Obi-Wan, they are going to get in the way. They are going to try and stop you, but as long as you're able to get around them, maneuver those key cards and navigate around them, you're just in the clear. Vader honestly may just auto win into Han 2. For all my Vader 4 players, look up Tip the Scale, put that in your sideboard because Bombing Run is coming in for game 2 and 3. You're welcome. Looking back at the tail end of set 4 decks like Quinlan Tarkintown, Cad Bane Tarkintown, Anakin Blue, and even Palpatine list had a pretty good success rate into Han 2, but this is an entirely new deck. It's a different base, different build around, different core to the deck, and it's very early in the meta, so it's hard to say what leaders are going to be the de facto leaders to counter and beat Han 2. Han 2 may be the deck to beat at Worlds, but as long as you can deny the Force, break his tempo, and race very, very smartly, you can walk away with the win. And I promise you guys, it's not as bad as it seems. It does seem bad though, but it's not as bad as it seems. There's play into everything, I promise. Let me know in the comment section downstairs what you are playing to counter Han 2, or if you want a full deck tech on one of the counters I mentioned today. I do plan on doing some deck tech videos for some meta staples heading up into Worlds. So if you want to see one of those, let me know. Also, if you just have questions, comments, or concerns on how the deck you plan on piloting can beat Han 2, join our community Discord. It is live downstairs in the description. Click the link, join us. We're all friendly. We'll say hi. We'll chit chat. We'll talk strategy. We'll talk meta. We'll talk deck lists. Hang out with us. We're a fast growing community. I'm loving it. You're loving it. We're all loving it. Also, you do want to be in there because in the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to be doing a really big 1,000 subscriber special giveaway type event. I'm not going to say too much on that, but join up the Discord. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. You guys have no idea. Remember, this has been James from Make an Opening. Stay unlimited. Peace out.